Welcome to today's news wrap up. Let's dive right into the top stories making headlines today. In a recent interview, Donald Trump shared insights into a conversation he had with Joe Biden following the 2024 election. Trump mentioned that Biden appeared very upset about the Democrat Party's significant losses and blamed Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi for the outcomes. Interestingly, Biden did not hold Vice President Kamala Harris accountable despite criticisms of her campaign strategy. The influence of Obama's former campaign team on Harris's efforts were noted as key figures from his past campaigns played significant roles in her leadership. This conversation shed light on internal tensions within the Democratic Party leadership after the election results. During an interview with The Spectre, Donald Trump suggested that either Joe or Hunter Biden was responsible for leaving cocaine in a bin at the White House's West Wing. He criticized the investigation, noting that the bins were wiped clean with alcohol, erasing fingerprints. Definitely a cover-up. Trump expressed his intention to revisit the matter, describing it as a serious issue. The cocaine discovery, which occurred in July 2023, had previously been linked to a partial DNA hit, but the investigation concluded without identifying a culprit. Tom Homan, the border czar, plans to take legal action against activists who distributed flyers revealing the names, addresses, and phone numbers of ICE agents in Southern California. Despicable, despicable work. Who would do something like that? The flyers, written in Spanish, of course, labeled the agents as threats, prompting Homan to seek support from the Department of Justice. He emphasized the dangers faced by these agents who work to address criminal and national security threats and criticized the activists for crossing a line. The FBI confirmed that interfering with law enforcement operations could lead to criminal prosecution, highlighting the seriousness of the situation. Homan is determined to hold those responsible accountable for endangering federal officers. I mean, it's just wrong. President Donald Trump plans to issue an executive order declaring English the official language of the United States. While English is already the dominant language, the country has never formally adopted a national language. This action would overturn a mandate from the Clinton administration requiring federally funded entities to provide language assistance to non-English speakers, although agencies could still offer multilingual services. The White House describes the order as a way to promote unity, streamline government operations, and encourage civic engagement. Trump has long advocated for a common language, emphasizing the importance of social cohesion and noting challenges posed by linguistic diversity in immigration. During a meeting at the White House, Donald Trump and Vladimir Zelensky discussed efforts to end the war in Ukraine and a minerals deal involving Ukraine's rare earths for U.S. military and AI applications. Trump emphasized that the deal would help conclude the war and prevent Russia from returning. The conversation grew tense as Trump criticized Zelensky for not showing enough gratitude for U.S. support, referencing past military aid. Zelensky argued that Putin initiated the war and must face consequences, while Trump maintained a neutral stance, expressing support for both Ukraine and Russia. The meeting highlighted ongoing tensions and differing perspectives on the conflict. But we got breaking news that came out right after I wrote this. This came from Fox News, and it said that Trump says Zelensky can come back when he's ready for peace after fiery White House exchange. Conversations about a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia came to a screeching halt Friday after a tense meeting between President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky led to a canceled press conference, a minerals deal off the table, and Trump asking the Ukrainian president to leave, a White House official confirmed. So, wow, it looks like we did not get a deal. I I'm surprised they didn't have Zelensky arrested. Because first, he's not really the president because they never held elections last year like they were supposed to. And he definitely got some of that money. He definitely pocketed some of the money that we gave Ukraine. I think we should just let him be. I'm tired of funding these countries, and then for him to show no gratitude from all the billions upon billions of dollars that we gave him and his country is ridiculous. The Department of Justice has released the first phase of Jeffrey Epstein-related files, which were heavily redacted and initially shared with conservative influencer before being made public. I don't know why I got a picture of Stelter here. Hold on a second. This is what we need here. The DOJ acknowledged that much of the information had previously been leaked but not formally disclosed. Attorney General Pam Bondi discovered thousands of undisclosed pages tied to the Epstein investigation and demanded their release. Critics have pointed out the irony of media figures like Brian Stelter. Oh, that was correct. Sorry. Figures like Brian Stelter dismissing conspiracy theories about a government cover-up despite evidence suggesting FBI interference prior to the document's release. The situation has reignited debates over transparency and accountability in handling high-profile cases. The Department of Education has launched the End DEI portal, enabling parents to report cases of discrimination based on race or sex in publicly funded K-12 schools. Once a report is filed, the department may investigate the school involved. Supporters like Tiffany Justice from Moms for Liberty view this initiative as a long overdue response to concerns about divisive ideologies being promoted in schools. They argue that the focus should return to essential skills such as reading, writing, and math, which we lag behind on in current years. This portal is positioned as a means to empower parents and address their grievances effectively. The U.S. House Judiciary Committee has approved the No Censors on Our Shores Act, initially introduced by Congressman Darrell Issa and his Republican colleagues. This proposed legislation seeks to block foreign officials who have censored U.S. citizens from entering the country by amending the Immigration and Nationality Act. It will also make such individuals deportable if they had, as foreign government officials, engaged in actions that would violate the First Amendment if carried out by U.S. officials. The bill emphasizes sovereignty and free speech rights, aiming to hold accountable those who suppress American voices abroad. The legislation has garnered praise from anti-censorship advocates and signals a stronger stance on international censorship issues. I'm glad somebody's sticking up for free speech, especially what's going on in Europe, like Germany and the UK. You can hardly say anything without being arrested or fined. It's crazy. During a White House meeting, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Vladimir Zelensky clashed over the U.S. role in aiding Ukraine. The discussion focused on a minerals deal intended to repay U.S. taxpayers for supporting Ukraine's war efforts. Zelensky's demands for stronger action against Russia was met with criticism from Trump and Vance, who called for gratitude rather than complaints, like I alluded to earlier. Vance accused Zelensky of conscripting soldiers due to manpower shortages and questioned his approach to U.S. assistance. Trump emphasized the importance of diplomacy to avoid escalating into a global conflict and urged Zelensky to shift his attitude. The exchange highlighted tensions over ongoing war and differing perspectives on resolving it. Again, no deal was done. Zelensky ended up leaving, complaining. So we'll see what happens from here. Several California officials are under investigation for corruption involving a $14 million project in Huntington Park. Raids targeted City Hall, the mayor's residence, and homes of current and former council members. The funds were allocated for an aquatic center, but residents have only seen an empty lot with no progress. This is par for the course in California. You know, remember the speed rails that they were supposed to be building, billions upon billions of dollars, and nothing happened? It's crazy. Officials have seized records and financial documents as part of the probe. Named Operation Dirty Pond, the district attorney emphasized the importance of transparency and accountability, while local leaders call for further audits to uncover additional misuse of public funds. No arrests have been made yet. Lastly, the Department of Justice is investigating a migrant facility scam tied to a former Biden administration official. I mean, we are uncovering so much fraud, so many scams. The facility in Pecos, Texas, costs taxpayers $18 million per month. This is per month, but housed no migrants since March 2024. Make that make sense. Almost a year. The scheme was linked to Andrew Lawrence Strait, a Biden insider who helped secure lucrative no-bid contracts for family endeavors, dramatically increasing its financial assets. After public scrutiny, the contract was canceled, saving taxpayers $215 million annually. Critics highlight this case as an example of mismanagement and lack of oversight in government dealings. Well, that's all for today's news wrap up. Stay tuned for more updates, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.